Here are your categories, Ethan and the team from Auburn. Literary deaths, historical inventions, or games.
I like literary deaths. Like favorite deaths. Okay.
It's so weird to hear somebody say, I like literary deaths.
We'll go with literary deaths.
And that's the one. All right, that's the winner. Literary deaths. In what work of American literature do these deaths occur? So I describe the death, you give the title, where this came from. I know it's morbid, I get it, but could be an interesting category. 60 seconds on the clock. Ethan, are you and the team ready?
Yes.
Here's your first one. Giles Corey is pressed to death after demanding more weight.
The Crucible.
Correct. An operation to reset Finney's bone kills him.
A Separate Piece.
Correct. George shoots Lenny before Curly and Slim find them.
Of Mice and Men.
Correct. Roy Cohn succumbs to AIDS.
Angels in America.
Correct. Harry and Dick are executed for murdering the Clutter family.
In Cold Blood.
That's correct. Augustus Waters' cancer returns.
The Fault in Our Stars.
Correct. Chief smothers the lobotomized Randall McMurphy.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Correct. Scarlet fever kills Beth March.
Little Women.
Correct. Tom Robinson is shot in an escape attempt.
To Kill a Mockingbird.
Correct. A car hits Charlotte Hayes after she learns Humbert's secret.
Lolita.
That is correct. That's all 10 questions. You make it look so easy sometimes. When someone runs a lightning category, it's always exciting, and that happens to be probably one of our favorite, like maybe the most morbid lightning round category we've ever had, literary deaths. And if that face looked familiar, that's because the person who helped the Auburn Knights run that category has been part of the Auburn team all 4 years during his high school career. And there he is, Ethan Strombeck. Hi, Ethan.
Hi, Eric.
Thanks so much for spending some time with us. I really appreciate it.
I'm glad to be here, yeah.
Do you remember that category? Do you remember that moment?
I remember feeling very excited when we ran it. And I do love some morbid literary deaths myself, yes.
That's certainly one of those categories where you have to have a specialist on your team. And it's also one of those where sometimes when I name a category, you can see it in someone's eyes when they want to jump on it right away and they know. And it seems like that was your case with that category, and it turned out really well for you.
Yeah.
So you are now a sophomore at Stanford, right?
That's correct.
So what is the semester like for you now? It's got to be. Is there any in person at all? I mean, clearly you are home here in Rockford, so you're not in your dorm, right? What is the semester looking like for Stanford students?
Well, up until about a month ago, there was a chance of us going back. Stanford had put together some kind of plan where we could have a reduced capacity on campus, but in August, they decided that it was a bit too risky to bring us back. So they've said at least for the fall, we'll be at home, and there's no in-person classes. But the nice thing is that since Stanford is on a quarter system, we actually start a bit later and we run a bit later in the year too. So there's a bit more of a chance of us getting, like a longer time on campus in winter or spring if we can go back then.
So are you pretty much logging in from home every day then?
Yes. I am. Luckily, I'm taking a computer science course right now, which doesn't really require an in-person component. I think even when it was on campus, not many people would need to even attend the in-person lectures. Everything was taped, so they were very ready for this.
And we talked to Joey Alonji from Durand about his experience. He's going to MIT, but he is not, he's a freshman, so he hasn't had any of the true college experience. You did, at least for a little more than a half a year, right? A little more than a semester or so. How did things change for you in the spring when you found out that, because of health concerns, things were changing at Stanford?
Well, I think that we got a little bit more time to kind of prepare than everybody else because the first kind of cluster of cases was popping up near us in the Bay Area. So pretty early on, things started to change. So it was more of a gradual process of large events shutting down to eventually us leaving campus. And there was a bit more time for us to process what was happening as it happened.
How did you end up picking Stanford?
I had a couple of schools once I had gotten all my decisions back, so that we were going to tour in the spring. As soon as I toured Stanford's campus, I knew that I had to go there. It's just an absolutely beautiful location. I hate to see the fire and smoke that's happening there now, because just when I was there, it was absolutely lovely.
Oh, sure. Some of that orange video is pretty ominous, isn't
Yeah.
it? What are you studying?
I have yet to declare a major, but I'm planning to major in physics. I know I talked about a potential music major, but I've actually found that a music minor is going to work better for me, so I'm able to do a bit of both.
Well, no doubt, whatever you choose to do, you'll be successful at it. Now, you have a relatively big family. I've known you for a long time. You guys are really close. Did that make the Stanford decision difficult? I mean, you being 2,000 miles away, you always had a family member in for our tapings at Quiz Bowl, so clearly, you and your family are tight. Being 2,000 miles away, did that make the decision to go to Stanford tough for you?
I think it did. I initially was thinking of looking for somewhere really close to home, but I kind of gradually became more accepting of going to a place like Stanford, and I think my parents, once I had been gone a bit, kind of came around to it as well. The nice thing, though, for I think both my parents and my siblings, was that they get an excuse to go out to California at least once a year now.
Of course, right? Like you said, it's a beautiful campus, a fun place to visit. Let's talk Quiz Bowl for a little bit. You were part of 4 seasons. That's roughly 20 games. I think you may have missed, at least that I can remember, you missed 1 game. And the reason I remember it is because it came down to, for your teammates, when you weren't there, it came down to the final question, and Lily saved the day with, I think it was a Johnny Tremaine answer. What novel, whose protagonist cares for Goblin and works for the Boston Observer, is an Esther Forbes book about a boy during the American Revolution? Lily.
Johnny Tremaine.
Johnny Tremaine is correct. That's 20 points. And that was the last question in the round. That's all we had time for, by 10 points. So of those at least 19 other games or so that you were part of, do you have any favorite memories?
I think, I don't know if I'd call it a favorite memory. It's kind of fun to look back at it now, though, is that notorious college football category in the lightning round. I know you guys re-aired that this last year, and to see that I missed a question on Stanford in particular was pretty funny.
That leaves college football for you, Auburn. You'll have the same rules. 60 seconds to get through as many of these as you can. You can pass. What you don't get to or what you pass on and don't answer, then Guilford will get a chance to take those points in 30. You have 60 seconds to name these Division I college programs. We need the school, not the team name. Don't give me the mascot. We need the school. Is the alma mater of Andrew Luck and John Elway?
John Elway. That sounds familiar. What do you want? Ole Miss.
Incorrect. Well, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. So really, what's next for you? I know you said you're studying physics. You've got, hopefully, campus will open back up and you'll be moving back to Stanford. Bigger picture, what do you hope to do after graduation? A grad school in your future or anything else down the road?
I think that the plan right now will be to look for a graduate degree. I'm hoping to kind of focus in particular on astrophysics. Astronomy has always been something that kind of fascinated me, so this is my chance to make it into a full-time career.
Pretty soon we'll be calling you Dr. Strombeck. Ethan, thanks so much for spending some time with me. And tell Mom and Dad I said hi.
All right. Thanks, Eric.
Dr. Strombeck. I like the sound of that. We'll be right back.